What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Hey, today the plan is to go out and land on a frozen lake. I've touched down on frozen lakes before, never actually come to a stop. Part of the reason is in Colorado, legally finding a lake to land on can be a challenge because of the type of land that a lot of the lakes are, and there's no float plane operations allowed in Colorado, so that presents a challenge. Also, physically, because even here in the winter, even in the mountains, we get quite a bit of temperature fluctuation and the ice will melt, and it's always windy in Colorado, and so it will, it'll melt and then it'll refreeze, and the wind will kind of shape the ice and it'll get rough and lumpy and wavy and stuff. So that can be a problem. And same with the snow. We get snow, kind of on and off, and so it's kind of hit or miss, on how much snow might be on the ice. So those are the challenges. If you're watching this, there's a good chance I found something, so at least that's good news. But we're gonna go out and try to do it and try not to get arrested or any kind of trouble. So that's the plan, and yeah, let's roll that intro and we'll get into it. Hey, pup. Say hi to YouTube. Yeah, my pup. Boy, she's had a rough time here lately. We've been to the vet a lot in the last month and a half. A whole laundry list of problems. We've been working through. She's doing really good right now, but it's been a rough road. And we're not out of the woods yet with her. And she's only a little over 8, so it's pretty unfortunate, but that's been rough. But anyway, hey, guys, before we get into the actual flying, the lake and some of that stuff, I wanted to show you guys a quick little project I did. This has been, I don't know, several weeks back before I even moved over to, my hangar here at the house. Anyway, built a little tail stand to be able to hold the tail up of the airplane for a couple of reasons. It's nice for a lot of things, actually. It makes it a lot easier to work anything on the tail, of course. Makes it easier to work up front on the motor because it sits pretty tall, even for, I'm 6'4", and it's still a little high, when you're working on it sometimes. If you want to get it absolutely full of fuel, it helps. I don't know. There's lots of little reasons why it's nice to have one. I was going to build one a long time ago. Just finally got around to doing it. So I just want to show you guys that little project since we haven't had too many shop, and building and fabrication type projects lately on the channel. I know you guys kind of enjoy that. So we'll switch to that, then we'll get to the flying. All right, guys. There's a lot of noise here, so hopefully you can hear me. But what I'm doing today is I am building a stand to go under the tail, to hold up the tail wheel of my airplane up nice and high. This pipe is part of the project. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to use this old lawnmower stand. It makes a nice big wide platform that's stable. Okay, put a pipe on it, and then I've got another piece to go inside the pipe, and I'll put drill some holes, put some nuts, make some lock handles so this is adjustable. It'll slide in and out of that pipe. It can be locked into place with 2 locks. And then I'm gonna build kind of a funky, kind of like a little rounded bowl thing that will hold the tail wheel itself. Okay, here's the square tube that goes inside and goes inside the pipe. And now I'm gonna weld it on and work it a little bit till I get it straight both directions. At least real close. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is the bowl that the tail wheel will sit in. This has got a curved shape inside. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so just buzz that on there. And it's straight enough. The thing isn't perfect on the top. It's just cut off, but it's got a bit of a rounded shape to it, and it will hold the tail wheel. And I'll put some tabs on it in case I want to strap the tail to it. Make darn sure there's no way it can come out of there. Okay, the plan is here I'm going to drill a hole, weld in a big nut, and I can put a bolt, and then I can weld a handle on the bolt so I don't have to get a wrench. I might put in 2 just to make darn sure. I think 1 would hold up way more weight than this tail weighs pushing down on it, so it's actually silly. But, some of you guys understand, when you've been a pilot for a lot of years, you just start thinking in redundant terms and backup plans with everything, even when it's not necessary. So I'd kind of like to have 2 locks. I could put them on a 90 to each other, and then they could both be up high. But again, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think it's actually going to be plenty high even with it all the way down. And when I extend this thing a little bit, the tail's going to be super high anyway, and I won't need to get that square tube way up here, sticking way out, if that makes sense. Okay, so here we go. You know, got this kind of thing put together here, welded on some nuts, made some little handles. And again, this one clears over the top of that one. They start getting tight right there. That one actually a little bit sooner, but plenty of room to really torque them down, and then they get nice and loose when you do this, and then everything slides in and out again. So yeah, should work out pretty good. I'm gonna weld it on the stand here and we'll see what we got. All right, got it pretty much right at 90 on that side. Flip it around and tack it on the other side and see if I can keep it real close there. Okay, I think it's pretty much done. Maybe I'll shoot a little paint on the welds. But so I welded it on down at the base. It was pretty sturdy, but there was a little bit of flex between here and here in this whole thing. If you got up here and you pulled on this pretty good. So I put those little support pieces on there, and now there's like no flex. All right, well there it is. And it's not adjusted up all the way. It can go a fair bit higher. It's almost level. I needed to raise it just a little more to like have the wings level, but it's good enough. I don't really need it up here for anything. I was just wanting to test it out. But if you're working up front, man, that changes everything. You know, this is typically, I think, at eye level or above eye level for me, and I'm 6'4", and now, you know, it's gonna be much easier to work on. So that's kind of cool. I'm pretty happy with how that came out. Well, that's quite a view right there. Those of you guys who have been watching the channel for a while, you'll recognize this spot. I've been here before. This is one of the, I found a couple of these really impressive rock walls, and this was the first one that I found over in this area. It has an old homestead there. Not much left now, obviously, but just a fantastically beautiful wall there. A little cave and stuff, and quite a view. This spot can be a little tricky to get into. I had to land downhill today to get in the wind, but it wasn't too bad. So I've hit it a couple different spots to land, but anyway, neat spot. I just wanted to stop here because get some good color in the sky out there. And it's not that late in the day, so it's kind of bizarre to see that, but it's beautiful over those mountains. That's quite a view. So I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit, and then we'll move on and look at some other spots and stuff, see what else we can find. Well, I stopped here in a pretty nice little spot here in the South Park Valley, and this little lake is on BLM, and it's not huge or anything, but I'm gonna see if it's frozen enough I can land on it. I drug the wheels on it, and I didn't. It felt okay, it looks okay, but since I can land next to it easily, I figured play it safe, and we'll go out here and check it out before I put my airplane on it. So you can see here, of course, where it's shifted and broke, which is pretty common on the ice, but that is, it's deep. Back there where it was a little clearer, it looked like it was 6 or 8 inches deep, maybe more. That right here kind of confirms that. I can't even tell how deep that crack is, but it doesn't look like there's any factor. I'm out here pretty far, and it has just been solid as a rock and real thick. All right, I'm feeling good about this. That looks just solid as a rock. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the airplane out on it. Actually, conditions were just about perfect. If the lake was bigger, you could get a little more carried away, but I don't think there's any reason to. Keeping it a little slower you know, less chance of side loading or the gear or doing something ugly. And yeah, if it was perfectly smooth and it was a huge lake, you could get to really hauling because you got a lot more rudder authority, of course, as you put more power and more speed to it. But I think it worked out good. It was an absolute blast. I've been wanting to do that for years, and just fantastic to get to come out here and make it happen. That was super fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that little deal.